Hello, welcome to Let's Talk with me, your host, Irene Solo. Today is Tuesday. We normally have heart to heart talk on Tuesdays. So I'm here. I'm here. I'm willing to listen. I'm here to talk to you. I'm here to encourage each and every one of us. Remember, as I encourage you, I also get encouraged, right? So today we're going to talk about, last week I spoke about rejection. So I'm going to follow up with a series of different segments of rejection. And then from there, there's another topic that has been impressed in my heart so much. I'm going to come up with it, but I will not tell you when. But for now, we are talking on rejection. So today, we're talking about rejection, navigating rejection in marriage. So if you're there, you've been experiencing rejection, or you are the one dishing out the rejection and you don't even know you are dishing it out, kindly listen to us. And I hope that you will be blessed, you will be transformed, you'll be changed, because we all experience rejection, at one point or another. So somebody asked me a question that I found very interesting. They were like, why does it seem that I'm always being rejected in my home? Why does it like my spouse does not appreciate me? That why does it look like my children don't even appreciate me as a person? And I was telling the person that sometimes we feel rejected. We tend to feel rejected, and maybe we don't understand why the rejection is coming forth, or the why it is coming the way it is coming forth. But there is always a root cause of everything that happens to us. There must be an issue, there must be a problem, there must be something that is triggering it. And most of the time we don't tend to understand what it is, or we don't even try to check deeper or even investigate further about what is causing that kind of rejection. Okay, so today we're talking about navigating rejection in marriage, finding hope and healing together. Hey, guys, I'm also on Spotify. I'm also on Amazon, and I talk about these things so you can listen to them. They are audio based. You can listen to them. It's my podcast. You can listen to them. They can really help you. There are different other topics that are there. You just look at Let's Talk, search for Let's Talk by Irene Solo, and you will get more information. Anyway, navigating rejection in marriage, finding healing and hope together. So, how do we go about this? Marriage is often portrayed as blissful union filled with love, understanding, and companionship. I know even movies, when you see, even books, when you see romance books, those are the things that people run for. So that's how we've portrayed marriage to be blissful, that if you're not there, man, you're missing out. I understand. However, the reality is that marriages, like any relationship, can face challenges, including rejection. Whether it's feeling rejected by your partner emotionally, physically, or in other aspects of the relationship, navigating these feelings can be incredibly challenging. They can be incredibly challenging. What that statement has a lot of, it's like an entire book on itself. It has, if I have to sit down with you and start explaining how it can be incredibly challenging, and the aspects that can be challenging, there are a lot. So I'll just peruse through. So if you need to know more, remember to reach out to me, and you will always get more, and you'll always be encouraged. Okay. So whether it's feeling rejected by your partner emotionally, physically, or in other aspects of the relationship, navigating these feelings can be incredibly challenging. But amidst the pain and confusion, there is a hope for healing and renewal. First and foremost, it's essential to recognize that rejection in marriage is a common experience that many couples encounter. So you are not the only one. That's the first thing you need to tell yourself. I'm not the only one. Okay? Because many times people will sit down and think, why am I going through this? Why me? No. It's a common experience that many people encounter. It's just that people tend not to talk, of which I don't think sometimes it's good, because I always tell people, you are not an island, and do not allow your marriage to remain an island where you do not have people you stand by. As a couple, there should be somebody you can run to, because there will be challenges. But remember, there is somebody who has gone ahead of you. So it's more or less, I was thinking about this. I was thinking, imagine, maybe I'm going to the east, So while I'm going to the east, on my way, I realized that the bridge that joins maybe where I'm coming from to the east has been destroyed. The bridge is no longer there. Then I decided, okay, I cannot follow the same direction that everybody knows. Maybe I decided to follow another direction. Then along the way, maybe then when I finished whatever I was doing in the east, I went back. So when I go back and I see somebody else who's trying to go to the east, the first instinct I will have is to tell them, hey, do not go to the east using this direction. Why? Because the bridge is broken. But there are people who are really stubborn. They'll be like, who are you to tell me which direction to follow? They will still follow the same direction, still reach there, find the bridge is broken, then turn around and follow another direction. And that is how relationships or marriage is. Don't ever think that just because you are married, you know it all. There are people who have gone through that. There are people who have navigated that, and they've experienced some things that you may not have experienced. So sometimes having somebody who has gone ahead of you to be able to challenge you, to give you insight of what is going on, is not bad. Just make the right choices, get the right people around you. I always say it's very important to choose who you listen to, who you talk to, who talks to you. It's very important. But having people around you is very, very important. Never ever underestimate that. Okay. So it does not mean that the love between partners has vanished just because people are experiencing challenges or going through challenges. No. Instead, it's an opportunity for growth and an understanding and a deeper connection, a time for them to have understanding and have deeper connection. Why? Why I say that is because this is an opportunity for you to know the other side of that person. I always like to tell people, I am a village girl. Okay, let's say I get married to a city boy, of which I did actually. He did not understand a lot of things, that places where I came from. He didn't understand. I always make a joke. I'm like, why go for camping? I grew up in the village. I grew up, I had to go and bath in the stream. We used to go and catch fish. That was a norm. So I don't see it as something so enticing anymore. Why? Because I grew up doing that. It's a norm. I grew up farming. I grew up going to fetch water. I grew up knowing how to make my own clothes. I grew up taking care of me. So there are some things when somebody says, oh, we are having fun this summer, we're going camping, that won't entice me at all. Okay, then I got married to somebody that these things are fun. He'll be like, wow, we're going to do this. I'll be like, man, I don't enjoy all these things. But remember, I had to be able to accommodate him. I had to also try and enjoy some of those things as much as he also tried to understand. So he did not push everything on me. We understand each other. Relationship is not about you and you and you. No. Hence, it is said, two shall come together and become one. I wish I can teach some cultures about relationship. This thing of somebody, you come in and the other person feels like they own the world, you will never enjoy the benefits of relationship. Let me tell you, when you get into a relationship, forget about you. Are you understanding me? Give yourself opportunity to say, I want to learn the other person and that I want to make the other person happy. Imagine if you are two and the other one is trying to make you happy and you are trying to make them happy. Imagine how that relationship will be. It will be great because you're trying to make them breakfast. They're making you breakfast. If you made them breakfast, they will make you lunch. If you made them lunch, they'll make you dinner. It will be amazing. When they wash the clothes, you iron them. When you iron them, they wash the clothes. It will be amazing because you will be holding each other hand by hand. But most of the time, some of our cultures have made us feel that, no, the other party is better, the other one is not. The other one does this, the other one does not. And yet, I get amazed where we get all these things, because most of the time we need to know that we are all created in the image and the likeness of God. So if you see a woman, a female, God. If you see a male, God. So God is both. Okay, so you have to understand where you're coming from before now we navigate the whole issue of rejection in relationship. The Bible says, let us look into it, Ephesians chapter 4, verse 2 to 3, NIV translation. Please, let's look into it. Ephesians chapter 4, from verse 2, Ephesians chapter 4, from verse 2 to 3. And the Bible says, be completely humble and gentle. Be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with one another in love. Verse 3, make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. Let me tell you something. It's not about just standing up and shouting, love, 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 love. It's not about just saying, I love. You have to endeavor to have peace. Follow peace, pursue it. It's very important. In Ephesians, we are reminded of the importance of humility. When you want to have a great home, a great marriage, you better be humble. You better be gentle. We are reminded of humility, gentleness, and patience in maintaining unity and peace in relationships. When facing rejection in marriage, it's crucial to approach the situation with humility and gentleness, seeking to understand and support one another rather than resorting to anger and resentment. And this is both ways. By making every effort to preserve the unity of marriage through love and peace, couples can overcome challenges and grow stronger together. Remember, through what? Love and peace. As I often like to say, that if you're willing to learn, then you're willing to grow. Thereby, you are ready to embrace what? Change. There has to be a willingness from your side. Okay? Not only sometimes I see you, we go to different places, you hear somebody, a motivational speaker speaking, or you had a pastor preaching, or you had somebody say something, and then in your mind you're like, oh, that is for my spouse. That is for my spouse. No. Why for your spouse? Why not for you? Let me tell you, the greatest thing you can ever do for yourself is teach yourself, change you first. Don't ever think of somebody else having fault, because as much as you can think that they're having fault, then you are having fault. Why are you quick at pointing fingers? Change you first. Work on you first. One of the most important steps in dealing with rejection in marriage is communication. Okay, this is something that have been said, communication. So people just think, just open your mouth and speak, shout. No, that is not communication. Communication is both ways. I've seen people sometimes say, no, I communicate with God, I pray. The question is, after you pray, do you sit down to listen to what God is telling you? Because communication is both sides. You speak, he speaks back. So communication in a relationship, in your marriage, is very important. Speak, listen to them. Let them also speak. As they are speaking, you listen, you understand. As you speak, the same thing. Let me tell you, we all have different perspectives in life. I can be wearing this top right now. To me, I may be like, I liked it, that's why I got it. Somebody else will be like, I don't like that. Why did she put that on? It's my perspective. It's the way I looked at it. I liked it. It triggered my fancy, I can say that. So the whole narrative that you don't like it does not hold any water, because I like it and that's it. I did not buy it for you. It was for me. But then that is what happens in relationship most of the time. If you go with the attitude of it is me and me, myself and I, you will not make it. In relationship, you have to get to a point, especially marriage, you have to listen to the other party and let them give you their opinion and their perspective, why they don't like it. And you will be so surprised when they explain to you, and you'll be like, you are saying the truth. Evangelist Zeshan, God bless you too, sir. You will be so surprised. Greetings from Pakistan. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Relationships are very important. Be be somebody who's open-minded. Open up your heart. It's not about standing up and say, I know it. I'm educated. Are you? I always say there are people who are intelligent fools. I'm not trying to be better because I believe sometimes I'm wrong, but sometimes we know too much that we end up not knowing anything. Be humble. Communication is important, but communication is a two-way. It's two ways, not one person talking and the other one is listening. There are some cultures that need to improve on that. Okay? I'm sure some of you are thinking, where is she coming from? I'm from here. Open and honest communication lays the foundation for resolving conflicts. Did you hear what I said? Open and honest communication lays the foundation for resolving conflicts, addressing concerns, and rebuilding trust. Take the time to express your feelings to your partner in a calm and respectful manner, and encourage them to do the same. Remember, communication is not just about talking, but also about listening with empathy and understanding. I always tell people that we listen to respond, not to understand. Have you ever been in an argument with somebody where they just say this and you answer, they say that you answer? You're not answering because you really want to respond or because you understood what they were saying. No, you're answering because you want to be the person who wins the argument. Communication is it's two ways. As they say, two-way traffic. It's both sides. You must be willing to listen. And you must, when you're communicating with somebody, communicate with empathy. I always tell people, ask yourself this question: what you're doing to your spouse, if it's done to you, will you be happy? The exact thing that you're doing, it may excite you right now, but the question is, if your spouse gets up right now and does the exact thing that you just did to you, how will you feel about it? So hence, before you do anything, ask yourself those questions. This one, I always throw it forward to the people especially who like to beat their spouses. I will ask you, you are beating them. If they beat you back or they find somebody to beat you, will you like it? They'll be like, no. If you like to cheat, if they decide to cheat on you too, will you like it? Many of you will say no. So then, do unto others as you'll want them to do to you. Don't get into a relationship with a selfish attitude. Don't be self-centered when you're getting into a relationship. Relationships, especially marriage, should be selfless. And it's not fair if one person is selfless and the other person is still full of themselves. Okay. The Bible says in Psalms chapter 11, verse 3. Let's go there, please. Psalms 11, verse 3, NIV translation. Psalms 11, verse 3. It says, when the foundations are being destroyed, what can the righteous do? King James says, if the foundations be destroyed, what will the righteous do? But in this case, if the foundations are being destroyed, because your character, how you behave daily will continuously be destroying that foundation. It's not a one-day thing. So if the foundations are continuously being destroyed, what do you expect the other person to do? To keep staying while you are destroying the foundation of the structure that you've been building? In Psalms 11, the psalmist grapples with the uncertainty and challenges of life, questioning what the righteous should do when the very foundation of their word are crumbling. This verse speaks to the profound sense of disorientation and despair that can accompany moments of crisis or upheaval. Rather than succumbing to fear or despair, the righteous are encouraged to seek refuge in God. Okay? Who is their rock and fortress? So you should always remember that. By placing their trust in him and his promises, the righteous can find hope, resilience, and a firm foundation to stand upon amidst life storms. Let me tell you something. Even though you have Christ as your foundation, there are people who will make you think otherwise. That's why you need to have a foundation that is strongly rooted, that no matter the storm, I will stand. Hence, I like the story of Job. Job stood his ground, no matter how everything seemed to have been going wrong. Okay? This verse challenges believers to persevere in faith, knowing that God is their refuge and strength, even in the midst of uncertainty and adversity. He is still there. Even in that marriage, he is still there. Okay? It's also crucial to understand that the root causes of rejection in marriage sometimes stems from underlying issues such as traumas, unresolved conflicts, or unmet needs. Let me tell you something. There is no way your spouse can just get up from nowhere and start a fight. This is something, it has been growing. There are some conflicts that have not been resolved. There are people, they're in a relationship and they do something wrong and they do not allow the other person to speak. Let me give you an example. I'm a woman. If you do something wrong, I want us to talk about it. So that's how women most of the time think. Explain why. I need to understand why you did what you did. Don't just leave it and say, no, forgive me, forgive and forget. No. Explain. And trust me, when you explain and I understand you, I will let it go. But make me understand why you did what you did. Don't take me for granted. That's how women think. On the other hand, men are like, no, I'm sorry. And then they want to move on. No. So most of these things can be kept. There can be underlying issues where somebody did not allow you, did not express themselves or did not allow you to express yourself. And these things can cause chaos in the future. I've always had people saying that, no, women talk too much and men don't. Let me tell you something. That they are talking too much is very good because it makes them air out everything. And it's for your own good, unlike them keeping it inside. Okay. So, such as past traumas, unresolved conflicts, or unmet needs. By exploring these issues together with your partner, you can gain insight into what may be causing the rejection and work towards finding solutions that benefit both of you. Remember, unmet needs. Unmet needs can be both sides. You may be doing something to the other spouse and continuously they keep quiet. One day, it will overflow. And they may not take it lightly. So it's always good to communicate and tackle these issues as soon as possible. Okay. Additionally, practicing empathy and compassion towards your partner can help foster understanding and connection. Try to put yourself in their shoes and consider their perspectives and feelings at all times. Avoid placing blame or resorting to criticism, as this can further in fact, let me tell you something. When you have a tendency of always criticizing the other party, even the day that they do something good, without realizing, because it's a habit, you will still criticize them. And this will further increase the feelings of rejection and the distance between the two of you. There are people who, when they got involved, they were truly in love. But over the years, because of some of these things, the traumas and some of you not listening to them, you denying them of things, the people start growing distant. Even though they're supposed to be one and they're supposed to grow stronger and stronger, they grow apart and apart. Eventually, you hear people have divorced and you're like, how? They've been together for so long. No, because you did not allow yourself to communicate well. You did not value the other party. You did not allow yourself to completely you did not allow yourself to be selfless so that you can be able to encourage to be there for the other person. Because if everything is about you, my dear, that's why the devil became Satan became Satan, because it was all about him. I want I. That I issue, you have to consider and think, why am I everything about me? The world is not the world is not all about you. There are other people involved. Okay? Colossians chapter 3, verse 13 to 14. Let us go there, please. Colossians 3, 13 to 14. Let's go there, please. Colossians chapter 3, verse 13 to 14. The Bible says, bear with each other and forgive one another. If any of you has grievance against someone, forgive as the Lord forgave you. I am I am an advocate of forgiveness 100%. But as I said, if you want me to forgive you, let me know that you are really truly sorry about what you did. Explain yourself. Help me to understand why you did what you did so that we can be able to stop it next time. If you do not talk about it, if you do not explain yourself, how will I be able to help you through it? So most of the time we experience these rejections in marriage because we tend not to open up. We tend not to think about the other person. We just think of ourselves. And sometimes we tend to ignore their plight. Hence, they will end up feeling rejected, or we will feel rejected. Because if we are drawing apart from each other, what are we encouraging? Rejection. The other person will feel rejected, the other person will feel rejected. You'll ask yourself, these two people were serious in love. What happened? And then people will stand up and tell you, love is not enough. No, I don't believe love is not enough. No, that's a theory I will never believe. I believe love is enough. God is love. Love is enough. It's us who are not willing to succumb and to be willing to humble ourselves enough to accommodate others. It's us who are not willing to serve others. We want to be served, but we never want to serve anybody else. Life has its ups and downs everywhere you go. Let me give you an example. When you're doing an exam, they will give you some notes to understand. Maybe you're doing a particular course, you will study on that course. And then for them to know if you understood whatever you are doing, they will give you an exam for them to see the level at which you understand whatever you are studying. When you pass, they will tell you have passed. But there's something I have learned about people doing exams. There are people who cram. They don't really understand whatever it is that they were learning. They cram it. Hence, they go and pass with flying colors. But go back to them a few years down the line or a few months down the line and ask them the questions of whatever it is they studied. They have no idea. You know why? They crammed. So if you're getting into marriage because you crammed based on a life that you saw, so and so had this, I saw it in the movie, I heard about it, and that's how you go into a marriage, you will not succeed. You will experience rejection, or you will end up rejecting people in marriage because of your actions. Don't cram the essence of life or the way of life. No, learn it, understand it. When you do that, you will enjoy your marriage because you will value life, you will value everybody you meet, you will value your spouse. As much as you want your spouse to make you feel important and loved, as much as you want your spouse to sing your praises, you sing their praises. Do unto others as you will want them to do unto you. Okay? I hope you're all still there. You can say something if you wanna connect, you're free to say something. It's very important. Okay? Most of the time we don't understand how much God is willing to just draw us closer and show us more love. We are the ones who push him away, and hence we push him away from even our own relationships. Finding ways to reconnect and reignite the spark in your marriage is essential in overcoming rejection. Finding ways, not only one person, both parties. Be intentional about your relationship. One person cannot be trying and working on the marriage and the other person is just relaxed. Then that is not a marriage. Take the time to prioritize quality time together, engage in activities that you both enjoy, and express appreciation and affection towards each other. Express it. It's very important. Express towards each other. Okay. Small gestures of love and kindness can go a long way in rebuilding intimacy and strengthen your bond. For instance, if you know how to cook, make something. Make your spouse breakfast, whether male or female. Make your wife a breakfast. Make your husband a breakfast. Make your spouse a breakfast. You know, help with some washing, help with some cleaning here and there. You know, give each other a call. Weekend, do things together. Clean up the house together. Cook together. Trust me, those simple things help with washing some plates. Not every time your wife needs to be running after you to clean up after you, or your husband should be running after you to clean up after you. No, work together. Those simple things, those tiny things that you see. Clean up after yourself. Pick up your clothes. Hang your clothes. Do iron for each other. Things like that. Very simple. Offer to massage each other. Relationships are a blessing. Marriage is a blessing. But when you don't understand it, when you've crammed how you think marriage should be, you will not enjoy it. The bliss in the marriage, you will never enjoy it. It is blissful indeed. But when both parties have decided to work together, I always say both parties agree to allow God to be the glue of that marriage. And you're conscious of it. Okay? When you're not conscious of it, you'll do anything, whatever you want. Okay? Take the time to prioritize quality time together, engage in activities that you both enjoy, and express appreciation and affection towards each other. Small gestures of love and kindness can go a long way in rebuilding intimacy and strengthening your bond. Seeking support from trusted friends, family members, or therapists can also be beneficial in navigating rejection in marriage. Seeking support, we are here. If there's nobody you can talk to, I have this. If you need counseling, I have my details on the screen. Call me. Let us talk about this. It's never too late. It's not the end yet. For prayer and counseling, call. Seek support from therapists, from friends. Get counseling. Sometimes take a step to pay for a counselor to be there for you guys. Okay? It's very important. Having a supportive network to lean on during challenging times can provide comfort, perspective, and guidance as you work through your feelings and concerns. And let me tell you, turbulent times will come. You are from two different homes, so you cannot say everything will be smooth. You will have misunderstandings here and there. But when you decide to stand together and put God in between and value one another, and be humble and learn from your mistakes, you'll go far. Okay. Above all, remember that healing from rejection takes time and patience. Be gentle with yourself and your partner as you navigate this journey together. Okay. Embrace the opportunity for growth and transformation that rejection presents. And believe in the power of love, the power of forgiveness, and the power of resilience to overcome any obstacle that comes your way, because you can overcome. For there is no mountain too big that God cannot move it. There is nothing that God cannot do, no matter how big that mountain is. So give yourself that chance. Give your partner that chance. In conclusion, rejection in marriage is a difficult and painful experience, but it is not insurmountable. With God, all things are possible. When you call on His name, all things are possible. With God, all things are possible. When you call on His name, all things are possible. It is possible. Trust in Him. I know if people have different beliefs. Yeah, somebody just said there's elevation after rejection for those who align themselves with the word of God. I'm enjoying the show. You're welcome. I appreciate that. There is elevation. Align from the beginning in your relationship. Put God first. But if it happens that you fall or you go astray, it's never too late. You can still come back. Pull yourself together. You see this bliss they say in the marriage? It is there. That honeypot is there. You can enjoy your marriage. You can have the best of the marriage. If only you are willing to be humble, to be teachable, to be selfless, to have empathy towards your spouse. Okay? In conclusion, rejection in marriage is a difficult and painful experience, I know. But it is not unsurmountable, as I said, by fostering open communication, practicing empathy and compassion, and prioritizing reconnecting and rebuilding intimacy. Couples can find hope and healing amidst rejection. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Please always remember that. And with commitment and understanding and love, you can emerge stronger and more resilient as a couple. There is no marriage that is perfect. We are two you are two imperfect people. So how will the marriage be perfect? You are from two different backgrounds. You see? The kind of food you eat and the kind of food the other person was eating is totally different. But with humility, you can navigate all this and be surprised that you can make a great team together. Marriage is not a competition. You are not there to prove how good or how better you are than your spouse. It's not. So if you're experiencing rejection right now in marriage, you feel that the other party is not understanding you and the other party feels the same way, please reach out, because you may be surprised that it's something just small that you as a person needed to do. It's not even concerning them. Maybe it's even something that you as a person needs to do. You need to work on you probably. Always remember, marriage is not a competition. It's for companionship. You are not there to compete with each other, not at all. Okay? You can enjoy that bliss in the marriage. Trust me, you can. I don't know if there's anybody who has any questions, please send them through, or if you have any contribution, I appreciate those who have been contributing. Whatever you're watching from, you are not alone. Please reach out. You can always reach out. We can talk to you for counseling. Reach out. And my details are on the screen. Every time we are here for you, for prayer, for counseling, we are here. I'm going to call upon Matimba Power to just join us. Maybe he has something to add on, and he has been a great a great help and a great inspiration to me. So he, as a married man, I want to hear from him what he has to say about rejection in marriage and how we navigate rejection in marriage, because it is there. So Matimba Power, please come through wherever you are. Thank you. And please let us know, how do we navigate rejection in marriage? What do you have to say about this?
Wow. Thank you so much, Pastor Irene Solo, for such a beautiful presentation, insightful, impactful, and just a wonderful thoughts that you have just shared with us. And it's also, I wish also to appreciate you for continuing with the subject of rejection. We're living in a time just after COVID. A lot of us globally has gone through through a lot.
Yeah.
And some people have been rejected in their workplace. Some have
Yeah.
went through rejection in their marriages, just even as you zoomed close to that. And for you
Yeah.
to be talking about this, it's very therapeutic to so many of us. And
Mm.
we bless God for your life, ma'am. After such a
Amen.
powerful
Amen.
presentation, there isn't anything much to say, but just to
Mm-hmm.
contribute few thoughts, just two statements I wish to humbly request to share,
Yeah.
just to rub it in on the issue of communication.
Yeah.
Because marriage truly requires us to talk. It should not be
Mm-hmm.
something that the other party must say, I thought. I thought. So you live in a
Mm.
space where
Mm.
you don't express your views, but you expect the other person to somehow, through the
Understand.
law of
Mm.
osmosis, extract your thoughts,
Mm.
yet the
Mm.
person is not articulating. So
Mm.
it's just so key that one should communicate, because sometimes one feels rejected because you did not communicate your ideas. You don't know how the other person will take it. So
Yeah.
it's so beautiful to really work on the subject of communication. Two statements according to
Mm-hmm.
pinkvilla.com. The
Mm-hmm.
statement said about communication. It says a relationship without communication, it's like a ship lost at sea, adrift,
Mm.
and destined to sink.
Mm.
A
Mm-hmm.
relationship
Mm-hmm.
without communication is like a ship lost at sea. That is number one. Number two,
Mm-hmm.
adrift, meaning it is floating without either
Direction.
mood or
Mm-hmm.
stead. Yeah, no
Mm-hmm.
direction. But the other thing is
Mm-hmm.
that it is destined to sink.
To sink.
So
Yeah.
what you just shared, yeah, what you just said, it's so powerful and profound, because somebody's marriage maybe was going through that state where you are like a ship lost in the sea of life, and there is no
Mm.
direction because people are not talking, and that
Mm.
marriage is about to sink.
Mm.
So
Mm. Mm.
communication is so powerful. But one last more, one writer said communication is a lifeline that holds two hearts together.
Mm.
It's a
Mm. Mm.
lifeline
Mm.
that holds two hearts together.
Two
When
hearts
the hearts
together.
are held together, they are able, one party is able to feel the heartbeat, of the next person. So you're able to
Mm.
feel each other's temperatures, each other's heartbeats, so that you're able
Mm.
to have oneness of vision and go towards the same direction because you are communicating. It is said that where there are two
Mm.
visions, actually we learn that the word two on one level can be expressed as di. So when you take
Mm-hmm.
di and you put it combined with
Division.
vision,
Mm.
it is division.
Division.
They cannot be, yeah. And yeah, so we also learn that anything that has two heads is a monster. So
Mm-hmm.
it's so beautiful that each one must just know their part, and let there be one vision, and let there be unity and communicate. You did such a wonderful work, woman of God. We truly bless God for you. Allow me to end there before I uh, continue further. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I like the fact that you spoke about that, especially when you brought in the vision part, because most of the time people fail to understand that when you get into a marriage, you become one. Hence, I say you become selfless. Forget about you. Live your life trying to bring the other one closer, and the other one live their life bringing the other one closer. The next thing is you will be able to amalgamate your mind and your thought process together. At the end, you will have a great vision, a vision that will be able to transform the world, because you think alike, you work together, you're working towards a specific goal. And what you spoke about, people just not speaking out, assumption. I always tell people assumption is the beginning of great trouble. Don't just assume. Talk to me. Don't assume I will do this. Talk to me. What if what you're assuming is not what I will do? Don't assume I should cook. Don't assume I should wash. What if I don't have the strength to cook? What if I don't have the strength to wash? Don't assume I will buy. Ask me, talk to me. Will you buy this, please? Will you be able to cook today?
That's
Will you be able to fold the clothes? It's simple things. And the funniest thing, marriages break because of a very simple thing. You assume. Stop assuming. Let's communicate and let's value one another. And you will be so amazed when the Bible says when God brought two people together, he made them one. We are co-creators, we are partners with each other. What do partners do? When there is a company and there's partners in that company, what do? They all work together to push that vision to go forward, right?
powerful. That's
So
powerful.
it's I'll just pray,
Amen.
and whenever anybody is listening, people can learn that marriage is blissful. It can be blissful. It can be blissful. It can be that fairy tale
Amen.
you're seeing. It can be that, but it has to start with you willing to work towards being selfless and saying to yourself, I'm gonna work on making my spouse happy. The other one also say, I'm gonna work on making my spouse happy. And at the end, because you're all working together on making each other happy, it will be a blissful home, because all of you are not self-centered, but you're all showing love towards one another. So thank you so much, man of God. Thank you so much. That what Matimba Power said, that was powerful. Remember, please do not live a life of assumption in your marriages. Marriage is beautiful, and it can be beautiful, and it can be great. But do not destroy it based on your own theologies or your own ideologies, because we make our own ideologies as we move on in life. You can have the best if you make a choice to be selfless. In marriage, be selfless. In marriage, be empathetic. In marriage, communicate. In marriage, do not assume. We are here for you. You are not alone. In all these things, when you put God first, you are guaranteed success. Love is very strong, and God is love. Thank you all for listening today. I think I'm gonna leave you all with that, and I'll see you on Thursday. We are having a powerful guest. Make sure you join us on Thursday, and you will greatly be blessed. And always remember, you are meant to be authentic and not flawless, or rather, you're meant to be real and not perfect. Bye, you all.